Okay, welcome back, guys. It's still in there, so we'll see. Well, maybe it'll be out by the next video. Okay, what I wanted to talk to you about today is which knuckles to use when throwing a punch. It's a common argument. The bottom three or the top two. And each side are always saying one is better than the other. And I've never understood that because they both work. They both work brilliantly. It depends on the angle at which you're going to throw the punch. Don't hit hard with your fist to the head. Okay, body, that's fine, but to the head, only hit if you're in close range. You can hit as hard as you can from here because as hard as you can from here isn't going to be that hard because you're so close, right? But if you're out of range, you might use it as a setup thing, just bop, just a light smack on the nose because it does give you more range comparatively to a palm. But what I'm saying is you don't use a heavy punch, a strong heavy punch to the head. Use it to the body. So, first of all, I want to talk about the fact that they both work very nicely. So let's say, for example, I'm over here. I don't know, she's trying to punch there. And I'm over, let's say over this side of the body, actually, so the camera can see. Let's say I'm over here. Okay, from this angle, I'm straight into the jaw. The bottom three fit perfectly. It just fits, or into the neck. It lines up. It goes in there nicely. For me to get the top two, it's a bit, it just doesn't fit quite as well. But then go to something different and say, I'm going to go this way, boom, behind her ear. Or if I'm a little bit more on this side of her, like in back of her jaw or something, well, now these two are hitting more. But it depends on the angle. Look, from Taiji, our penetration punch, it comes through the middle and into the jaw. Boom, that's going to be the top two. Whereas our snap punch coming from here, boom, in there, that's going to be the bottom three. They both work. They both work very well. My rule is you shouldn't throw a punch where there's risk, like great risk, of connecting with one knuckle. So that's what I say. If I'm out here and I don't know, maybe got three guys and I've got we're going to try to attack one of them. Usually we only move in defense. But if I have to preempt and hit someone, I'm not going to do it from a range. Oh, sorry, not with a lot of power anyway. So if I hit like from there, just whoom, something like that, not too much force, that amount of force pretty much anywhere, it's not going to break. It might hurt, bruise, injure my hand, but it's not going to break my hand because it's not that hard, right? But a really heavy knockout punch could break my hand. I don't want that to happen. So in that case, I use a palm. That's the first thing I wanted to say is both work, so stop arguing as to which one's better. But the other thing I wanted to say is the chances of hitting with both those two, sorry, I can't count today, all those three, that still doesn't sound right. The chances of hitting with those three or those two under a serious environment, it's very unlikely, okay? Definitely from a range like this, it's unlikely you're going to connect exactly as you want them to connect because from here to here, there's so much chance that she can move in some way. So I'm not going to hit my target spot on. Well, at least there's a very small chance that I'm going to hit my target spot on. Even from a close range, there's much more chance because there's a smaller gap. So the time from which I move to which I land my punch is much shorter, less chance she moves into a different position, right? But still, even from this kind of range, if I were going to throw a punch, there's still a very high chance she just moves a little bit. So I'm going to give you an example here. I'm going to place my hands on Fran's forehead, because that's really the part we don't want to hit. So let's say we're aiming at the nose, but as I come through, you sort of tuck down. Yeah, so you're up straight, right? And I aim at your nose, but you tuck your head down, in which case I'm going to hit the forehead, right? But even if I was trying to hit the forehead, keep in mind I wasn't trying to hit the forehead, so there's no chance I'm going to land properly in this case. But even if I was trying to hit the forehead, just to show you, demonstrating, okay, right now, I can feel that one, yeah, I can feel more or less there. I can feel all three knuckles. that. I can feel all 3 knuckles. Now what I'm going to get Fran to do is very, very slightly turn your head to that direction. Stop. Now I'm only touching with 1 knuckle. Okay, now I'm going to use the top 2. Okay? I wouldn't hit that high, I'd be hitting here, but just for demonstration's sake. Okay, both knuckles are now touching her forehead. Okay, turn your head just a tiny bit. No, that's enough. Even less. Bring her back. Watch how far she turns her head. Go very slowly. Stop. That's how much she has to turn her head so that only one of my knuckles contacts. So do you really think that if you throw a punch in a full-on fighting situation, that you're ever going to land exactly with those 3 knuckles or exactly with those 2 knuckles? When I throw my punch, I don't know which way she's going to move. I don't know which way she's going to flinch, even if she has no training whatsoever. And everyone's going to flinch to some degree, and it only takes that much movement to change the angle from all 3 touching to 1 touching. So this is why I will only ever throw a punch that I'm happy about landing with 1 knuckle. Okay, there shouldn't be too much chance of landing with only the little knuckle. Okay, that's pretty rare, unless you're swinging from back here. Then you'll do it. But from a close range, which is the only time I would use a fist to the head, there's a very high chance only your big knuckle will hit. Okay, but I'm okay with that because I'm only using the amount of power that will be okay with only 1 knuckle hitting. So if you're throwing a punch that only works if it is spread out over the 2 or over the 3, you should not be throwing that punch, because the chances of it landing like that are almost zilch on someone who is going to try to move their head. Okay, so that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. I think that was it. Yeah. Thank you, darling. Thank you very much.